Hey now, Deadheads, I am back again after a somewhat lengthy hiatus, but I'm back. I'm still here, still buying Dead, Jerry Garcia Band, Robert Hunter, other affiliated records, and excited to share some of these with you on the channel. And I'm playing catch up a little bit, so today's video is going to be all about some recent Jerry Garcia related releases. Of course, starting things off with Don't Let Go, 1978 concert from the Orpheum Theater in San Francisco. This was the Record Store Day release, so about a month and a half ago, Record Store Day release of some Jerry Garcia Band. Great record. I'll be opening this up and showing it to you soon. But I've also got a couple other Jerry Garcia related releases. Follow up to Bare Bones Volume 1 that came out, I think that was the last video that I did a few months ago. We've now got Volumes 2 and Volume 3. And so collectively these are, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right, the other tunes and arrangements and then the alternate takes. So all sorts of Jerry Garcia and David Grisman stuff that I'm excited to show to you today. But kicking things off with Don't Let Go, this is a release that I've wanted for quite some time now. I've streamed it. I really like this release. Found out recently, I didn't realize that this was one of the first releases that David Lemieux was a part of with the wider Grateful Dead organization. Now, this is, of course, from more of the Jerry Garcia Productions Round Records side of things, but an early David Lemieux involvement. So really cool little bit of trivia there. But opening things up, one of the first things you'll see is that this is actually one of those book style releases, similar to Truckin' Up to Buffalo. We don't see a lot of these, and I wish we saw more of them. I like this form factor more than I like the box set. I suspect it's more expensive to produce, but I'm a big fan of these. And you can see instead of a booklet, you've got the liner notes printed inside the bigger book of this release with the labels, and then you can see all four sides on display here. You've got the track listing there, and if we pull out one of the records, you can see the paper sleeve that I left inside, but it did not come in these MoFi style original master sleeves, these MoFi inner sleeves. I actually put these on the record, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but it did come with these paper style sleeves. As you can see here, tape archivist Dave Lemieux. And then here's the back with the track listing. So that's Don't Let Go. Like I said, it did come in those paper style inner sleeves. I wasn't a fan of those. Sometimes, they're fine and the records will come clean. In this case, the records were pretty dirty and dusty. I attribute that to those paper style inner sleeves. So I had to put this through my ultrasonic cleaner when I first got it. I used to have the Spin Clean, that little yellow, very manual plastic thing. I upgraded about a year ago, I think I mentioned that in an earlier video, to the Humming Guru ultrasonic cleaner, not the new Nova style one, but the older one. Got that last year sometime, and I've been really happy with that. I put this through the Humming Guru, the ultrasonic cleaner, and I think the results were really good. I'm really happy with how this sounded after I cleaned it. Not every side was spotless and clean. I still have a few kind of standouts and some sides that just don't really do it for me. Not because of the playing or the song choice, but I think just because of the pressing. Let me pull up my list. I was taking notes on my phone while I was listening. And so on Don't Let Go, I wrote, That's What Love Will Make You Do. Sounds great, especially the drums. Quieter songs, not really taken off for me. Things like Knocking on Heaven's Door, not really sounding the best. During Mission in the Rain, another quieter song, there is some crowd yelling, and I wish that was clearer. I want to be present. I want to feel like I'm in the Orpheum Theater while I'm listening to this recording. Don't Let Go, the song sounded exceptional, so it makes sense why they named this release after it. And then Lonesome and a Long Way From Home. I was not very familiar with that song. I went in, poked around a little bit. The Clapton version is a favorite of many. A lot of people like the Pure Jerry Volume 9 version. That's much longer, jammier, a little bit spacier. I thought this was a perfect Lonesome and Long Way From Home. Nice and tight, good rhythm going, just good chugging along. Longer version, but not as long as that Pure Jerry Volume 9 version. And then next up, we've got Bare Bones Volumes 2 and 3. The follow-up to Bare Bones Volume 1 which was the vinyl release from early on this year. All of this was released as the 3 CD set, but it's nice to have all of this released on vinyl. And like I said, I know I said in the video for Volume 1 that I wish they would do it all on vinyl, so maybe someone at Garcia Family Productions was listening to me. Most likely not, because of the lead time of how long it takes to get something pressed these days. But I am glad that my wishes came true and that these are finally available on vinyl from Garcia Family Productions, their online store over there. I'm going to take it out of these MoFi style outer sleeves. I like them. They're thick. They're high quality. It's cheap enough to buy 50 of them. And then let's take a look inside each of these records. Starting with Volume 2, Other Tunes and Other Arrangements. We've got this wide photo of Jerry Garcia and David Grisman, as well as the track listing. Opening things up, we've got these poly-lined white paper sleeves. I would say that these are of higher quality than those just paper inner sleeves from the record store release of Don't Let Go. And then something neat about this pressing, as well as the Volume 3 pressing, since I got it from the Garcia Family Productions online store, this one is on a gorgeous, slightly see-through gray marble vinyl. Really pretty, subtle, very pretty. I like it, I approve. And then on the back, we've got the track listing again. You'll see that this is put out on Acoustic Oasis. I think that's a derivative of Acoustic Disc, which is the David Grisman and his family's imprint. They release a lot of those duo recordings, the Grisman Garcia stuff, out on Acoustic Disc. Now, when we swap things over to Volume 3 of Bare Bones, same photograph on the front cover, and then when we open things up, slightly different layout. We've got, instead of a wide photo, we've got just a different photo of Garcia and Grisman, as well as a track listing and some notes from Dog on this one. So he's got some notes to accompany this release. He notes here that some of these songs are from Garcia Grisman, Not for Kids Only, Shady Grove, and other sessions. You've got some credits here on the bottom right, as well as that Acoustic Oasis logo on here as well. Just like Volume 2, these are on paper inner sleeves with that poly lining, but it is a slightly different gray marbling on the vinyl here, so less transparent, still beautiful, still subtle. Really like this colored pressing as well. Then finally on the back, you've got the track listing. So now let's talk standouts. On Volume 2, some of my standouts, Great Friend of the Devil on side A. On side B, I really like The Dog's Waltz. Side 3, Teddy Bear's Picnic in Arabia. And then side D, really great Man of Constant Sorrow. Those are the ones that really stick out to me as great versions. And then on Volume 3, a lot more of the Not for Kids Only, which I think is an underrated release. And I really like that there's outtakes from the Not for Kids Only sessions. So on this, you've got another version of Walkin' Boss on side A. But when we get into side B, you've got Hot Corn, Cold Corn, Miller's Will, Ain't No Bugs on Me. Those are the Not for Kids Only songs. More of that on side C, Jenny Jenkins. Big, that's a favorite of mine. But then quick hard pivot from Jenny Jenkins to Whiskey in a Jar, which is another great one. I think there was a big standout version of Whiskey in a Jar from I think it was the Band Beyond Description compilation release. There was like a 6 CD release. Don't quote me on that, but there was that release where they had a studio outtake early 90s of just Jerry playing Whiskey in the Jar, which he hadn't played in years, he claims on that. So I like that version. I like this version. Sorry, go on that little bit of a tangent. And then on side D, we get another Hot Corn, Cold Corn, another Ain't No Bugs on Me. So those Not for Kids Only songs really stand out on these two releases for me. I know I mentioned on the Don't Let Go release that I wish I could hear the crowd noise, just get a little bit more presence in the Orpheum Theater. There is no shortage of presence, of room presence on these two releases. There's the conversations that are on the tape before they start playing the songs. There's the chuckling of, when they screw something up or they do something, a different way. You really feel like there's that intimacy with this release. It's just two friends that are playing together over the course of a few different sessions. You feel like you're in the room with them, especially if you've got a good turntable setup, a good sound stage on your speakers and your amplifier. It really is immersive which is something that's really nice for such a stripped back and bare bones, no pun intended or no joke intended, version of these songs. And so it's this really raw, really nice. I think demos and outtakes are a hard sell sometimes, because why would I want the unfinished version? But for this, it really gives you that intimacy of the playing. So because of that, I would say both of these are a strong recommendation from me. I know I was a big fan of Bare Bones Volume 1, the first release in this series, and I would say that's probably the one to get if you're just getting one out of the three. I'm a completionist. I had to get all three. I think Volume 3 is also a big standout, mostly for the not for kids only stuff. So generally, a lot of really good stuff across these three releases. No complaints here, and I know this is probably going to get a lot more playtime than many of my other live Jerry Garcia releases, just because it is such a inviting release. It brings you into the songs, into the collaboration between these two greats, Jerry Garcia and David Grisman. And so these are the latest Jerry Garcia related releases. There's a few other Grateful Dead related releases that hopefully I'll have a video up soon, maybe by next weekend, of those releases. And a record store day, another release, trying to get those recorded, get those unboxing videos done before the Enjoying the Ride box set. That big massive box set, vinyl release, a lot of stuff coming soon to celebrate the Grateful Dead 60th anniversary. So stay tuned. Hopefully not another hiatus coming anytime soon from me. And I'll keep the unboxings coming. Well, thank you very much for watching. Have a great one. Peace.